All right, so get this. Applications from Chinese students to UK universities are like plummeting.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's kind of crazy because for ages they've been the biggest group of international students over there.
Yeah,
So what's going on? Why the sudden change?
right.
Well, we've got this super interesting article here called The Way Chinese Students Choose a UK University is Changing.
Mm.
And it might have some answers.
Yeah, it sounds like UK universities are really feeling this shift.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, just look at the University of Sheffield. They're facing a massive
Mhm.
50 million pound shortfall.
Oof, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, no kidding. And, you know, when you consider that Chinese students bring in something like 4 billion pounds every year to the UK education sector,
Wow.
it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah, it's not just like some random blip. It's like a whole trend, a total shift in how these students are deciding things.
Right.
And the crazy thing is this article points to some factors that are way beyond just, those normal university rankings.
Yeah, rankings are still important,
Oh, absolutely.
especially for families that really want that sense of security and prestige,
For sure.
but they're only part of the story now.
Okay, so what else is going on?
Well, the article talks about what they call ranking choice exceptions.
Ranking choice exceptions.
Yeah, basically all these other sometimes unexpected things that are now like tipping the scales.
Okay, so spill the tea. What's the first big clue in this mystery?
Well, I think we got to start with the elephant in the room, money,
Money always seems to be a factor.
doesn't it? The research actually says that financial reasons are the top worry for Chinese students thinking about going to the UK.
Yeah, but it's not just tuition, is it?
No, it's the whole cost of living thing.
Right, especially in a place like London.
Oh, tell me about it. Costs have gone up like crazy there.
Yeah.
Almost 411 pounds more per month just in the last year.
Wow, that's wild.
So students are realizing they might need between 2,300 and 2,500 pounds every month just to cover their living expenses in London.
Yikes. That's enough to make anyone reconsider them.
I know, right? So naturally, students are getting a lot more strategic and they're looking at universities in areas where things are a bit cheaper.
Makes sense.
But here's the interesting thing. This focus on money is actually forcing universities to change their game too.
How so?
But they can't just brag about their ranking anymore.
Oh, so it's not enough to be like, we're number one.
Nope. They actually have to show students that they're getting real value for their money.
Okay, so cost is a biggie. What else is shaking things up?
All right, so this one might surprise you.
Hit me.
It turns out having a local Chinese student community is becoming a huge draw.
Really?
Yeah, think about it. You're thousands of miles away from home in a totally new place.
Oh, yeah. It'd be pretty daunting.
Right, so having familiar faces, people who understand your culture, that can be super comforting.
Totally. It's like
Yeah.
having a built-in support system right there.
Exactly. And you know what universities are catching on?
Oh, yeah.
They're setting up all these support programs, cultural events, even mentorship things to help international students feel more at home.
That's pretty smart.
It is. And then there's this other factor that I bet you wouldn't guess.
Oh, come on. Now I'm really curious.
Get this, regional accents.
Wait, what?
Yeah, apparently accents are playing a role too.
No way.
Yeah, students are actually choosing universities based on where they think the accent is clearer and easier to understand.
Wow, I never would have thought of that.
I know it's fascinating, right?
Yeah.
But it makes sense. When you're learning a new language, it's not just about being able to read a textbook.
Oh, definitely.
It's about feeling confident talking to people in everyday life.
Absolutely. So
Yeah.
it's like minimizing those language barriers.
Right, and feeling more comfortable in the whole university environment.
Okay, so we've got money community accents. All these ranking choice exceptions are really painting a different picture of how these students are making their decisions.
Totally. They're not just looking at one or two things anymore. It's way more complex now.
It's like a whole puzzle.
Yeah, and we've only just started to put the pieces together.
Okay, so what other surprises does this article have in store for us?
Oh, there's more. All right, buckle up, because even the weather is becoming a factor now.
Hold on. You're telling me students are choosing universities based on the weather?
It seems like it.
Okay, now I got to hear more about this.
So it seems students from warmer climates are like really starting to prefer universities in places known for, milder weather.
Interesting.
Like they're checking out the average temperatures, the rainfall, even how many hours of sunshine a place gets.
Wow. It's like they're planning a vacation at the same time as their studies.
Right, exactly. And, adapting to a whole new culture and academic system is already a lot.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So why add on top of that, freezing winters or constant rain if you don't have to?
So true. And, for some students, it might even be a health thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
definitely.
I've heard that seasonal affective disorder can be rough for people coming from places with lots of sunshine.
Absolutely. So it's not just about being comfortable, it's about their well-being too.
Right. It seems like these days students are thinking about their whole university experience, not just the academic side.
Yeah, they're looking at the quality of life too.
That makes sense. And that actually brings up another trend that's been popping up.
What's that?
This focus on what happens after graduation.
Oh yeah, employment outcomes.
Exactly. Universities with good track records of getting their students jobs and, solid internship programs, those are becoming super attractive.
It's like practicality is the new black.
Totally. Students are super focused on their future careers, and they see education as an investment.
Right. They want to know they're going to get a return on that investment.
So it's got to be more than just a fancy degree.
For sure, universities need to show students that this degree is going to lead to actual success in the real world.
Okay, so we've got finances, community accents, weather, and now job prospects. What else is on this ranking choice exceptions list?
Well, there's one more, and it's kind of interesting because it challenges some of the usual stereotypes about Chinese students.
Oh, really? Okay, I'm all ears.
So there's this idea that Chinese students are all about, crazy academic pressure and competition.
Yeah, like they're all super intense and driven.
Right. But this article is saying it's not quite that simple.
Hmm.
Apparently, after going through the Gaokao, which is that super tough Chinese college entrance exam,
Oh, yeah, I've heard about that.
a lot of students actually want a more balanced life at university.
So it's like they're looking for a break from all that pressure.
Exactly. They want to have time to explore their interests, develop new skills, and, actually enjoy themselves.
That makes a lot of sense. They want a well-rounded experience, not just academics 24/7.
Right. So they're interested in things like extracurriculars, creative stuff, even travel and new experiences.
It's about finding a university that cares about their well-being.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that promotes a good balance between academics, personal growth, and social life.
It's like they're saying, hey, we worked hard, now we want a little fun too.
Yeah. And it shows that these students are just as diverse in their needs and wants as any other student group.
It's a good reminder that we shouldn't stereotype anyone.
Totally. Everyone's an individual.
Okay, so we've uncovered a whole bunch of ranking choice exceptions here. Money, community accents, weather, job stuff, and this desire for a more balanced experience. It's pretty clear that Chinese students are thinking about their university choices in a much deeper way.
Yeah, they're being a lot more selective in personalizing their decisions.
And that's got to have some big implications for UK universities.
Oh, definitely. They
Yeah.
can't just sit back and rely on their rankings anymore.
Right. They need to step up their game.
Yeah, exactly. But what can they actually do to attract these students and make sure they stay?
Yeah, it's like they need to figure out what these students really care about and then shout it from the rooftops.
Totally. It's
Yeah.
not just about getting them in the door. It's about making sure they actually have a good experience and do well.
Exactly. So it's
Yeah.
all about, showing, not just telling.
Right. They need to go beyond just like listing facts and figures and actually paint a picture of what life is like at their university.
Yeah, show those students the awesome student life, the support system, the opportunities for them to grow both personally and professionally.
Exactly. And don't forget the practical stuff like affordable housing and maybe even some sunshine if they're lucky.
Right. And I think another big thing is honesty.
Oh, definitely.
Like universities need to be upfront about the challenges that international students might face.
Like figuring out visas or adapting to a new culture.
It's about building trust and being realistic.
Right. Because let's be real, no university's perfect.
Exactly. But by being upfront about the good, the bad, and the ugly, they'll attract students who are actually a good fit.
I think that's so important, finding the right match, that sense of belonging, because ultimately a happy student is a successful student.
Couldn't agree more. So wrapping up this deep dive, I'm curious, if you were a student today choosing a university anywhere in the world, what would be at the top of your list?
That's a good question. I think for me, it'd come down to a few things.
Okay, lay it on me.
Okay, so first, a strong sense of community. I'd want to be surrounded by people who are passionate about learning, who challenge me, and make me feel like I belong.
Yeah, community is key. It's that support system that can really make a difference.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And second, I'd want a university that encourages intellectual curiosity and critical thinking. I would just want to sit there and absorb information.
Right, you want to be engaged.
Exactly. I want to be debating ideas and pushing the boundaries of what we know.
That's what's so cool about higher education. You get to expand your horizons, challenge your own assumptions, and become a lifelong learner.
Yeah, Totally.
Yeah.
And finally, I'd want to be at a university that values diversity and inclusivity, a place where I can learn from people with different backgrounds and perspectives.
That's where the real magic happens, right when you step outside your comfort zone.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And, this whole conversation has made me realize that students today are way more empowered and picky about their
No,
choices.
sure.
They're not just blindly following rankings or chasing prestige.
Right. They're actually doing their research, weighing their options, and choosing the university that matches their values and goals. It's like the power dynamic has shifted.
Totally. And it's pretty awesome to see students taking control of their education and deciding their own path.
So for all our listeners out there, whether you're a student, a parent, or just someone who loves education, remember that the perfect university isn't a destination, it's a journey.
Well said.
It's about finding the right fit, embracing the challenges, and making the most of all the amazing opportunities that higher education offers.
And don't forget to ask questions, get advice, and trust your gut.
Wise words. All right, that's a wrap for this deep dive. Thanks for joining us as we explored the fascinating world of Chinese students choosing UK universities. And no matter where you are in your educational journey, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep diving deep.